one of the things I've discovered, and it took me a long time to figure this out, that it has very little to do with the profession and almost all to do with the person. I've seen, yeah, so the size of the group, or the size of the business may or may not be a factor. It's the person in the business that's the factor. I've seen people in businesses that should do very well in BNI and they didn't. And then I've seen people in businesses that I would have never thought would do well. They did great. What was the difference? The difference was the people. The people make a difference. And so if you get somebody in a group who's committed, who's motivated, who's supportive, who wants to help the other members, the size of their business is almost irrelevant. It's their commitment to helping one another that makes the biggest difference that I've seen. Now, if you get somebody with great commitment and a big business, that's really good. But the size of the business is secondary to the person. The key in building a powerful personal network is diversity. Diversity is key. The more diverse your personal network, the more powerful it is. And by diversity, I mean diversity in all senses of the term. Diversity in terms of ethnicity, but also diversity in terms of the kinds of businesses that you're working with, the sizes of the businesses, the age of the people you're working with. The more diverse your network, the more powerful it is. And here's why. Networks are by nature clumpy. That's the technical term. They're cluster-like. We tend to surround ourselves with people like us, people that have similar interests, people who may look the same, people who may have similar educational backgrounds. The problem with that is we're surrounding ourselves with a very limiting group of people. If you want to build a powerful personal network, you have to make it diverse, because the more diverse your network, the more likely you are to have individuals who are connectors, who connect you to another cluster. So you're in this cluster, and if your cluster has people who are really different than you, that have different kinds of contacts, those people connect you to all these different clusters. And if you have a diverse network, you're connected to all these different and diverse clusters, which increase your ability to get business from many sources, including big companies. And so we teach people diversity is the key to make connections to large businesses and all businesses. I think that if you want to be successful at building a referral-based business, you have to participate in more than one group. So I tell people all the time, go take a look at a couple of three different kinds of groups of business associations, chambers of commerce, service clubs like Rotary, Lions, Kiwanis, and of course groups like BNI. You have to be in a couple of different kinds of groups to diversify. Remember I talked about diversify earlier, to diversify the kinds of networks that you belong to. That's so important. I think most business people are basically cave dwellers. Okay? They get up in the morning, they're in this large cave with a big screen television. They go out to their garage and they get into this little cave with four wheels called their car. They drive to this other really big cave with computers called their office. They stay there all day long, and at the end of the day they get back into their little cave with four wheels. They drive back to their large cave with the big screen television, and they can't figure out why no one is referring them. Networking is a contact sport. You've got to get belly to belly with people and talk to them. And the best way to do that is to participate in 2 or 3 different types of networks. We obviously highly recommend BNI, but there are other kinds of groups that are different, that don't allow one person per profession, that may have hundreds of people at a meeting instead of many dozens of people. And so look at the different kinds. In most of my books, I talk about the different kinds of networks. And if you really want to build a powerful personal network, you need to belong to at least 2 or 3 different kinds so that you get the kind of exposure that you need. So for me, it's not either or, it's both and to build a referral-based business.